Hello, this is Koshi George here with my third video about our very racist and bullying neighbor who happens to be an attorney in Santa Clara County. And today, the purpose of today's video is to read out 6 testimonies of people who have experienced this guy in this neighborhood. Among them are former residents, contractors, and clients of mine, as well as my wife's nephew. I'm going to read out parts of their letters to us, and these letters have all been submitted to the court. That's the reason we got the restraining order. But the reason I'm standing before you here and sharing these stories is because our harassments have not stopped. Ever since the restraining order was issued, and it was even beefed up a second time, and these were filed with the CARPOS and the CLET system, this man has continued to use a new technique, and the new technique is harassing us, bombarding us with lawsuits, spurious lawsuits, but he keeps on firing these lawsuits. Anybody who has been through the process of a lawsuit and have faced this kind of terror, you know how your life gets completely disheveled. We are at a point that we don't have any more money to pay lawyers to defend us. So right now, my wife and I, we have to stand before the court and pro se and represent ourselves. What else can we do? No lawyer wants to face this guy. I have seen 27 lawyers from Burlingame to Gilroy, and everybody tells me, Mr. George, you're asking us to represent you before a jerk who is known as a jerk in the legal community. All of us who know him, we don't want to have anything to do with him. Some of them said we have a conflict of interest. Some of them very clearly said, no, we can't. So this is our predicament. Every lawyer wants out. So far we've had 5 lawyers representing us, and every one of them has been fixed. He fixes them because he says he's a rock star lawyer and is an ex-Marine, an ex-Vietnam War veteran. You can imagine how threatening he is. Very menacing, and he knows how to destroy people. Just pulverize and destroy them. Doesn't care whether it's lawyers, police officers, police sergeants, anybody. I've seen him even misbehaving with judges in the Santa Clara County court system. But again, lawyers, attorneys in any county, and I didn't know this, in the courts are considered as verified truth tellers. So no judge can also question whatever lies are spewed out by a lawyer, because they are considered as verified truth tellers. You and I, if you go to the court, we are guilty until proven innocent. There are many reasons for that. So I don't want to get into that, but without any further ado, let me read some of these letters that have been even filed with the authorities of our county. This is a former resident who was living here. He broke his lease and he told his landlord, I don't want to live here. We are under severe threat. This is what he says. These are the key points he has highlighted. This is 3 key points. Through all of this, we are unable to go for a walk, that is this family, with our child or dog. And then they had 2 children, and they were afraid for these 2 infants, and that's why they fled this neighborhood. For legitimate fear that so-and-so will harm us, either by intent or by mistake resulting from an intimidation attempt, such as the events of February the 15th of 2022. So-and-so continue. I'm saying so-and-so because I don't want to, because he's a highly revered person in this county, right? This is an attorney, and you can't even name them. It's almost like Yahweh. You know, Jewish people, they won't even say the name of God, Yahweh. That's how it's written in the Bible. But this is a highly revered person. I can't even use, if I use his name, hey, use my name, defamation. So I don't want to get into that. But these are all truths. There can't be a defamation when somebody is being hurt, constantly being hurt, and you go to the authorities and please help us. Nothing happens. That's why I'm on social media, pleading my case. So-and-so continues to assert the existence of an HOA governing the easement, supposed rules thereof. He imposes rules on everybody. There are fictitious rules that are brought up time and again. All these homes are single-family homes. But he wants to claim there is an HOA so that he can start extracting money out of people. You know, an HOA membership here, you know, typically a HOA pays about $500 to $750 a month. He and his wife are trying these tricks because we're all people of color. Many of us are immigrants, right, to this country. And because of his Caucasian heritage, he bullies people into submission by forcing people into, what motives he has, we don't know. But I have lived here for 18 plus years. I have not played into a single HOA. And I know easement rights. They're CCNRs. They are not HOAs. But this man, because of his immense bullying power and his JD license, he does this. By the way, I have complained to my wife and I, we've complained to the California Bar Association thrice about this fellow. Every time they shut the case, they don't, it's a club. It defends these kind of rogue attorneys. It doesn't do any justice to ordinary citizens who complain against attorneys. Let me tell you that. This is another example that we've had to live with. So, if a lawyer is bullying you, well, it's horrible, horrible. Look at us, 940 plus days, and lost a lot of money, lost our peace of mind, and our daughter is suffering, my wife is suffering, my wife has been in emergency. No point. Continue to suffer. But we are standing up, we are standing boldly and saying all this. He could come here and shoot me tomorrow. Nobody cares because he has guns. He's an ex-Marine, he has not surrendered his guns. He's told others to tell me that he has guns. And those people are willing to come to court and testify that he said that to them. He has threatened other neighbors here not to join with me, and he sent his cronies, and the cronies have gone and told those new homeowners out here that they know how to shoot. One of those latest homeowners, can you believe it? The greatest joy, I'm sorry I'm digressing, the greatest joy in America is owning a home. And so these new homeowners who just, they came here, it was February of last year. They were bawling and crying to me on the phone. By the time we had left, we had gone to an Airbnb because we wanted to protect our daughter. She was losing in her grades. She was doing very terribly. So we had to move out. But we are back here. We had no choice. So this man was crying on the phone. He was telling me, Koshi, why did I buy this house? It's so sad. And he was crying on the phone on my shoulders, literally, figuratively speaking. I'm holding the phone like that, and I felt like he was crying on my shoulders. 18-20 minutes for having purchased a house. It's a dream. It's an American dream to own a home. But look at that neighbor of mine, what he's going through. He doesn't even walk on this easement. He steps out of his garage in his car, boom, he leaves and he comes back into the garage, puts the shutter down, and that's when he comes out of the car. What kind of an American life is that gentleman is living? Fear. Everybody is frightened out here. And I have been through 3 council members, by the way. 3 council members of our district. I've told them, nobody wanted to do anything. Everybody wanted to pass the buck. One council member, my term is getting over. Next person comes, something else. And then the next person comes, something else. I've been to a congressman and said, we can't do anything. So I'm a helpless person. That's why I'm here on social media. I'm not out here to spoil somebody's name or anything of that. That's not me. That's not me. I don't do those kind of things. But I'm helpless. I don't get a voice in court. I can't say anything in court. Lawyers will take bits and pieces of everything and start claiming money for whatever they represent for. This is all over the place. So, what choice do my wife and I have? Keep paying lawyers for the rest of our life? We lost all our money. My daughter as I stand here, I don't even know whether my daughter will ever go to college. All our money is gone, my friends. All we have is this house that's left and a few thousands just to put food on the table. I have to make every dollar again. All our money is gone in legal fees, shifting out of this home, getting this home prepped up to sell it. We couldn't sell it. Lies upon lies are told about our home by this man. And he's forcing PG&E and water to shut down our home because he's a lawyer. But it hasn't been done so far. But all these tricks that he tries because of his wicked legal mind. So, events of February 9th, start of hostilities. Events of February the 15th of 2022, threatening with his vehicle. This gentleman recorded all that. Events of April the 5th, officers clear the street. There's a video, but this man he says that he's aggressive towards the police officers. Police officers are wonderful officers of this county, let me say that. San Jose police are wonderful people, but they are very polite and they don't deal with this guy the way that he needs to be dealt with. That's again, the laws of a country are so tough that the police cannot even act on such kind of people. Okay, so material blockade of the easement from February the 24th. So all of these things. Now I'm going to read to another email to me from the former gardener who is to work here in one of the other homes. Let me read. This is a very, very, very poignant email. My name is so-and-so. I am the gardener from the house next door where so-and-so lives. I have been having a lot of problems with this man for several years now. He's a very racist person and has been problematic towards me. He has insulted me many times, telling me that us Mexicans, get this, are pigs and that we shouldn't be alive. Can you believe this? An attorney of the Santa Clara County court system says these kind of things to somebody? Persons of color? He has also made comments such as calling us wetbacks and have made these insulting comments towards my sons and I, as well as saying he's a lawyer. Okay, I'm not lying. This neighbor of ours is a lawyer, and it is being said by a third person who has experienced him. And he says he can make these comments because he believes that he has the authority to make such comments. The many times that I have gone to work, I am in fear he will make these comments again, and I do not feel comfortable or safe being around him. For any other further questions, contact me, blah, blah, blah. Next letter. This is from the fire captain of San Jose South on Bose Lane, Almaden Valley. I had to call him because our lane, you see this lane over here? It's a fire compliant lane. It should not be blocked. As the previous letter I read, he used to block it. And if there's there are older people living here. If there is any emergency vehicle that needs to pass through in the night, it can't come through. So I had to call the fire captain and say, this is what this man is doing. So this is the fire captain's letter. Hi, Mr. George. Unfortunately, so-and-so. I have to say so-and-so. I'm not lying. I don't want to take the name of this guy because he's a highly revered person, right? He's a lawyer and all that stuff. And, if I give out his name and say, hey, I'm a lawyer and I'm being defamed. I'm telling the truth. We have been hurt. But what about our defamation? Nothing. No defamation for him, all the defamation, right? Anyway. So-and-so was very aggressive with us and not willing to engage in much polite conversation. He basically told us to leave using profanity and disparaging remarks. I am truly sorry for the situation that you and your family have to endure, but unfortunately there is not much we as the fire department can do in this situation. His wife was even more irate with us, not sure why they are so angry. By the way, his wife is his legal assistant in his office, and she's the one who signs off like John Hancock on all these legal letters that keep going out to everybody in a threatening manner. I'm not a psychotherapist, but it appears to me that he has some PTSD anger issues that neither you or anyone for that matter can help with. I implore you to continue to take care of yourself and family and continue to take the high road and not engage in the toxic behavior that he's choosing to exhibit. Fire captain of San Jose. Next one. This is a contractor who we had called. He's from a real estate company. He had come over to evaluate our home because we were trying to sell our home, and this is his experience. Nobody can visit us. Anybody who visits us is tortured. On July the 28th of 2021, Wednesday at 1:30 p.m., I, so-and-so, real estate agent, drove into the subject area's home only to be confronted by so-and-so. He's very obnoxious person. So-and-so claimed that this is his private road and demanded with profanity. That is my section of the road, okay? It's not this lawyer's private road. Very obnoxious. So-and-so claimed that this is his private road and demanded with profanity that I move my vehicle to another location. He continued to haunt me with profanity and my car even after I moved my vehicle closer to the subject, that is me. I was completely overtaken by this monster of a person. So-and-so was deliberately harassing the inspector, that is myself, before conducting a home inspection for Mr. George. A realtor's experience. Next. This is one of my clients, one of the nicest persons. You see, I haven't been going to my own office because of fear for my own life. My office is about 10 miles away from here. It's near Santana Row. There is no security in that building. This fellow can send his cronies. The same person whose cronies go around threatening this neighborhood saying that I can shoot can happen to me. So I have a wife and a child. I need to be protecting them. I've been staying at my house because of for my daughter's strengthening and courage back to normal. Wonderful kid has been completely shattered. I'm so sorry this video is extending, but I want to complete this aspect And I also want to do a subsequent video, which I'll do today, because there's so many topics to cover. But I need to get this out into the open, folks, because bullying is a very serious problem in this country, and the laws need to be more tight. I'm so happy that the governor of California, Governor Gavin Newsom, has set up a new site called California versus Hate. Please, if any of you are facing bullying, report the instances over there. They are very particular, that the state is very particular to stop bullying. Bullying is a problem, and I'm glad that our governor recognizes the fact that bullying is an issue. Okay, people are being called all kinds of names and being harassed. I'm not the only one. I just happen to be a person who is coming out into the open and saying this. Most people are just stomaching their bullying. Please don't stomach it. We cannot have a better society if you are going to stay quiet even after you're bullied. Okay? Please don't be frightened. I'm a CPA. I feel I have a moral obligation to society to come out and tell you not to be afraid. Be bold. It doesn't matter whether you're from India or Sri Lanka or Pakistan or Bangladesh or Nepal or Bhutan or Korea or Singapore or Malaysia or any other Asian country or from the Arab world or from Lebanon and anywhere. If you are bullied, China, please speak up. Be bold. Do not be afraid of bullies. The more you're afraid of bullies, they get more excited to harm you. Why am I standing here? I'm the father of a child who has been terribly bullied. Okay? And I know, my wife knows what we go through on a daily basis, hugging our child, getting her to feel it's okay. Why am I standing here? I'm standing here because I want to build the courage of my child to know this is her country. She was born here. And if she's experienced this kind of foul stuff and has seen her parents go through this, how is she going to grow up in her impressionable age if she knows there are bullies in this society and, oh, I better be quiet? Wait, this is the land of the free and the home of the brave, isn't it? It is. I believe that. I love America. Don't get me wrong. I came from India, but I strongly believe in the values of America. And the values of America are represented by its citizens, and its citizens need to speak up. I wish I had done this much earlier, but when he bullied my daughter, and I said that in the first video in the month of February of 2021, I told myself, enough, stand up. I'm a self-employed person. My profession is very important. I have to work. I have staff I need to take care of. I'm responsible as the president of a national corporation. I have duties there. I can't function. But this is very important. And can you imagine this? 900 plus days, 943 will be tomorrow when I begin my fast. But 943 days and no justice. Won't get it. Because the bully is an attorney. Next, this is my client. And this is about his bullying experience. As we walked on the street in front of so-and-so's home, he approached us and I'm just reading a portion. He sternly announced that we were on his private property. Nonsense, we are on a common easement. I said we were just walking down the street. This is my client. He reiterated that we were on his private property, but that I could pass through, adding while looking and gesturing towards me, don't let this bozo do anything. I'm called bozo, wacko, fruitcake, queer. I'm called nut job, rat. These are all the terms that I have to hear every time I step out of my house. So this is, I'm just going to pass through because otherwise these videos will get very long. This is my wife's nephew, and the last of the emails, I read one from the former tenant, I read one from the fire captain, I read one from the gardener, I read one from my former client, and I read one from the realtor. And this is finally my wife's nephew, who is here in this nation on an H1 visa, works for a very prestigious technology house here in the United States at that point of time, and a very, very promising young man. And the torture he was put through by this fellow, he was told to get out of this country, go back to India, water your buffalo, just like I was told. And so this is his letter to us, and I will read this letter in its entirety, okay? On March the 14th of 2021, I arrived at my uncle's home at approximately 6:30 p.m. I parked my car where I have been parking for the last 3 to 4 years during my visits to his house. I stayed in the car for 2 to 3 minutes completing a call, and just as I ended the call, I saw uncle's neighbor approach me and ask me what I was doing there. He has no business. He asked me why I was trespassing. Okay, he was not trespassing. To which I replied that I came to visit my uncle. He asked me what's my uncle's name, was to which I confirmed. His tone was very rude, and I asked him why he was rude to me. He started cursing me randomly, to which I was surprised and agitated. I asked him what triggered him and what I had done wrong. As he walked into his garage, I stepped in his driveway, noticing that he picked up a shovel in a very animated way. He told me he would put it up my A***. I'm not saying that word. After that point, I stepped back into my uncle's driveway. I had enough from the bully, and after that point, we had a heated exchange of words wherein he was being racist and referred to me as a cure in a derogatory manner. At frequent intervals, he made fun of my accent and told me to go back to my country. I dissipated the anger by laughing it out, which calmed me down. After some time, we both were quiet, and when uncle and auntie arrived, I went inside their home. Through the window, I saw so-and-so was drilling cones and creating a separation in the driveway and also on the road. I feel bad for the people who have to live inside and deal with the cones on their way out. I am worried regarding the safety of my uncle, auntie, and my niece living next to so-and-so. Please contact me. These are the 6 letters that I wanted to read. And believe me, some of these people, 27 witnesses were supposed to come to court on the 7th of December of 2021 to testify about his behaviors. This guy engaged in witness tampering, and many of these people were called on the phone by him or his wife or his cronies and threatened to come to court. And all of this nonsense happened, and people are afraid. They're saying, hey, we're risking our life. This is the danger of this man. Please, folks, anybody out there, please call the Santa Clara County court system, call the DA, tell them this is how one of their attorneys who has a JD license behaves with people. Okay? He's after me to get rid of this fence. I had to, by the way, I had to build this fence for my daughter's safety, because on the other side of our fence is his home and the basketball hoop is over there. My daughter plays basketball. He used to play basketball. She used to roller skate. She stopped doing all that. She stopped doing all that because he's constantly looking at her through the binoculars. I reported this to one of the police sergeants. The police sergeant said, we can't do anything. He's looking at her from his house. Get this? This is how weak the laws of our country have become over time, that we are such a highly litigious society that even the police are not willing to step forward and aggressively deal with these kind of people. And that's what I want to bring out. I hope, as a result of my doing my videos and my 3-day fasting that begins tomorrow, that's the notice I put up about my fasting. You can follow me. There's a QR code over there. It's also on my Facebook page. And because people need to be strong. Asian immigrants to the United States of America, Hispanic immigrants, they all need to be bold and strong. We are America, not the few minority who behave like this, whether they are attorneys or not. They cannot get away with this kind of brutal treatment of innocent people like you and me. Hardworking people trying to build up our lives, and then we lose our money to lawyers who are trying to defend us, but they don't do anything. Because this man sets the agenda even for the legal cases. A lawyer has to be really aggressive with this person to be able to do anything, but lawyers are not aggressive, and for various reasons. I don't want to get into that topic, okay? But these are realities, and trust me, I don't make up stories. These are things that are happening. I have to keep on saying this because as a brown man, my truth is not acceptable in this country. That's what I find, practically speaking, because any truth that I tell can be destroyed by this man in court, and he keeps doing that. Every time he gets a demurrer and a delay, that delay is a time where his wicked mind works to again further delay. We have cases all over the place, appellate court, arbitration, all kinds of mischief he does. Tomorrow, I'm going to cover the main reason. This video and the next video on the 4th is very important. So coming back to the point, I had to build this fence for my daughter's safety, but he's trying to get rid of this fence. He says this is a blind corner fence. It is not a blind corner fence. That is the common easement section. People can come out, they can clearly see the main road is over here. There is a lot of distance between the main road and that easement. He says this is a blind corner fence. I had to build this fence for my daughter to play safely over here, because on the other side, the police won't do anything about it. So she can't play basketball, she can't do anything. He's always staring at her. He comes down and sits there on his chair and watches her. Kids get frightened. Her friends are frightened. How can we live like that? So I built this fence extended it a little bit. There is still a lot of space. Look at that lane. That's another lane over there. Look at how much that fence is extended to those plants. That can be considered as a blind corner fence, but no. This guy, because he is a lawyer and he lives down this easement, he has the privilege to say all these kind of rotten things. So this is what I'm dealing with, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. I will talk about the main reason that has remained behind for a long time, and that's the reason why he creates these firestorms of various spurious lawsuits, so that certain things that he did don't come to light. I'm going to talk about that here tomorrow, because I will never get an opportunity to say all this in the court, because he will not allow it. He will never allow a case to go before a jury, because he will get exposed. So he keeps on taking delays, kicking the can down the road, the demurrer tricks, all these things carry on in the criminal court as well as the civil court. Why is he in the criminal court? Because he violated the restraining order twice. And those cases will be heard, but they'll be heard as innocent misdemeanors, and a slap on the wrist and he'll be let go. Once he comes back, once the criminal cases are off, this fellow will become a bigger tyrant out here, and nobody will do anything. Call 911. No use. So things have to improve in our country if we are serious about improving our neighborhoods, if we are serious about, America is a great country, do not get me wrong, but there are a lot of things that are wrong here, and these things happen because people don't speak up. I'm speaking up for the sake of our society, to have a better society. We want to continue to live in Almaden Valley. Almaden Valley is a beautiful neighborhood, but unfortunately none of these homes will ever appreciate, because this is out in the open. Realtors know about what's going on here, and this man is deliberately bringing down the value of the homes over here so that none of us can sell. If we sell, we have to sell very low. Okay, we have to sell very low. That's very wrong. It's very unfair. One of these days I want to go and meet with the county authorities who deal with property, and I want to tell them what we've experienced out here. Okay, thank you, folks. I know this has been very long. I wanted to just do a 5 to 6 minute video, but it's been very long. I promise you I will try to keep the videos shorter going forward and keep it under 5 minutes. But tomorrow's also will be long, because tomorrow I'm going to discuss a very serious and an important matter which the FBI needs to hear, the IRS needs to hear, the Franchise Tax Board needs to hear, the Superior Court of Santa Clara County needs to hear, the DA needs to know, and even our chief, the Honorable Rob Bonta, who heads the California High Court, Supreme Court, he needs to know what this man did. And this is not a kind of person that we want in society to be practicing law so that he can destroy lives. That can't happen. It shouldn't happen. Whether it will finally become a reality, I do not know. But this is a bad character. And he's out to get me and my family and destroy us, because we are standing up for truth and telling the truth. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. 4th of July is coming up, and this is a long weekend. Happy 4th of July.